Hello, this is Heinrich back with a Sunday serving, words of hope and truth from the gospel. What is it that you desire most, or look for, or seek after? Think about that. Is it happiness, meaning, success, fame, fortune, security for your family? Or is it good health, perhaps love, or acceptance? All those things are great. They're good to find, to have, and maybe even to give to others. And God knows that. And He wants to bless us with good things. And Jesus knows it, and He can make miracles happen. But Jesus gave very clear directions about what we should look for, what we should look for first, or seek first and foremost in our lives. And that's in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, those words we all know, but seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. So Jesus said, seek first. What does that mean? That means get your priorities right. Do what is most important first. And what is important? The kingdom of God, His righteousness. That is Jesus' will in our lives. And we should look for it. We should seek it. We should discover it. And we should persist in this search. It's interesting. Jesus didn't put the condition of finding this treasure in order to have these things, all the things that we measure happiness and success with. He says, seek. Seek first. Isn't that an action? That's an action, a way of living. It's not a benchmark of what we possess or have. So that's encouraging, because no matter how poor, no matter how messed up or bad off we are, we can look, we can do that action, we can seek, we can long for the kingdom of God and His righteousness. And then we don't need to worry or to be anxious or to be afraid. God will provide everything else, whatever these things are. They'll be added. They'll be added to you. But we have to look. We can't just pretend to look or make an act out of it. So where do we look? Where do we find this kingdom? Where in the world do we find this kingdom of God? Do we look in books? Do we search on YouTube or the internet? Do we look to the news or to the government or to elections? Do we look in church? Do we look in the wilderness? Or do we look to places of learning, universities, for the advice of scholars? Or do we even look in the Bible or long religious commentaries? No, I think it's much simpler than that. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 17, verse 20 and 21, Jesus says this. He says, some of the Pharisees asked Jesus, when will the kingdom of God come? I suppose they could have also asked, where is the kingdom of God? But they asked, when will the kingdom of God come? And I think Jesus' answer probably would have been the same to both questions, but this is what He answered. Jesus answered, it says in Luke 17, God's kingdom is coming, but not in the way that you will be able to see with your eyes. People will not say, look, here it is, or there it is, because God's kingdom is within you. Isn't that amazing and powerful? God's kingdom is within you. Now, in some translations, it says God's kingdom is among you, or it's in your midst. What does that say? I think it says that the most important place to look is in the hearts and the lives of people, of others. Of course, you could also take it to mean that it's inside our own heart or our own person or consciousness or soul within you. But I think among you or in your midst is even more compelling. It reminds me of another saying of Jesus that is very well known, Matthew 18:20. where he said, "For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there I am with them." Isn't that amazing? Jesus says, "I am with you where 2 or 3 gather." And what could be better than to have Jesus helping us in our search for God? And he promised he'll be there. He'll join us if we join in with others. Of course, in his name. Join in with others in his name. That's important. That's part of the seeking first. People. Not places or things, but people. Gathering, not dividing. Seeking the kingdom of God should bring us together. It shouldn't tear us apart in division and arguments. So it's really a call to community. Seeking first the kingdom of God is a call to community. So if we want to be full and whole, if we want to seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness, we cannot do it by ourselves very successfully. We need others. And God's kingdom is truly coming. In fact, it's already here among us when we love and care for each other, when we forgive our enemies, when we build up community or strengthen families, neighborhoods, nations, and worlds of all God's children and people. God bless you. Thanks for watching.